Bitcoin has finally surpassed $20,000, all-time highs. But in 2017, when Bitcoin nearly touched $20,000, very shortly after, it crashed below $4,000, more than 80% decrease. And this time around, people want to know, will the same thing happen? Will Bitcoin $20,000 last? If that question sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around for this video and don't forget to smash the like button. Welcome aboard the Bitcoin Express. My name is Chase. Let's get to it. In 2017, when Bitcoin hit nearly $20,000, very shortly after in 2018, it dropped below $3,500, more than an 80% decrease. This time around, will the same thing happen? And my answer is that this time it's different. And this time is different is a very dangerous statement because history does repeat itself. And when I say this, I am not saying that Bitcoin will not have dumps and crashes along the way. I believe it certainly will. It won't be shooting up to 25,000, 30,000, 50,000, whatever it is, without any bumps along the way. But what I am saying is I believe that Bitcoin will not experience another 80% crash. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to show you how this is so. Let's jump into the charts. In 2017, Bitcoin moved very quickly, and just as fast as something goes up is just as fast that it could come crashing down. In 2017, we hit around $10,000 in the end of November, and in just about 2 weeks, we shot up to nearly $20,000. This is very, very quick. And then people started selling, and 2017 was all retail investors, all weekends, and everyone panicked and everyone sold, and Bitcoin came crashing down, eventually hitting around $3,200, $3,300 per Bitcoin. So when this happened, we were barely above $10,000. After the crash, the goal wasn't to get back to $20,000. The goal was just to get back to $10,000 because we had no support there. A few months later in the summer, June, July, August, we went above $10,000, but we couldn't hold and it came back crashing right down. And ever since then, we have been looking for this $10,000 support. Now, fast forward to 2020 and a lot has changed. If you've been following crypto and been involved, you'll understand that the infrastructure is being built and institutions are now involved, as opposed to 2017 where it was only retail investors and weak hands. Now in 2020, we hit $10,000 in the end of July, and we have held $20,000 up until now, December 16th, the middle of December. When we went from 10,000 to 20,000 in 2017, very quick in 2 weeks. And in 2020, it took us months. We have actually built support levels. So this is where we are sitting right now. And if we look at the support levels in 2020, it's a lot different than 2017. As mentioned, there probably will be Bitcoin dips and crashes along the way. 10%, 20%, maybe 30%. Someone in crypto, they'll look at that and they'll think not a big deal. But of course, if you're someone new to the space, even 5% sounds like a lot. But those 80% dips, I just don't see them happening because when we look at the support levels in 2020, they are much different. Typically, we'll look at the moving average to see where is our support. So if we look at the 50-day moving average, we can see support at about $17,000. But many people will look at a 50-day moving average and say it's too short of a time frame. We need something much longer. So typically, we'll look at a 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is seen as a very strong support level. And the 20-day moving average is at about $12,000. So even in a nightmare situation, if Bitcoin were to dump, $12,000 is a support level, not $3,000, not $5,000, not $8,000. This is no longer 2017. But even though in the nightmare situation where we see $12,000 support, I'm going to tell you why I think we're still not going to reach 12,000. Even though it's a probability, everything can happen. I do believe that the probability of this happened has decreased due to what's currently happening with institutions. And even if we went beyond nightmare mode, I don't know what you call this, and we take the 365-day moving average, a full year, it's still above $10,000. We have a lot of support now in 2020. Now, let me tell you why I think even though we probably will have decreases and crashes along the way. Again, this is not financial advice. Anything you buy and you make money on, it's totally on you. And anything you buy and lose, again, it's totally on you. I'm just offering my opinion. So this is why I think that even though we will have dips along the way, we will not reach this 12,000 level. So even though we have strong support at $12,000, the reason why I think we're not going to hit 12,000 is because there is so much support from the institutions. In September, there was a survey, and it has suggested that institutional investors plan to buy every Bitcoin price dip back in September. And this is what the survey had to say. After surveying 50 institutional investors that collectively manage over 78 billion in assets in the United States and United Kingdom, a standout response was that 26% of participants believe that pension funds, insurers, family offices, and sovereign wealth funds will raise their stakes in cryptocurrency drastically. So again, this was back in September. We didn't know much back then, and a lot has changed up until now in December. And then the survey also said 64% of participants believe the increase in interaction will be moderate, but the group also expects that hedge funds will be more actively engaged in crypto. 32% of respondents believe hedge funds will increase their crypto holdings drastically. Now, whoever guessed that institutions will be buying up the Bitcoin dips back in September, they guessed right. If you've been following crypto and following this channel, you know that every day we are hearing of new big institutional players entering the game. This just came out today. Ruffer Investment allocated 2.5% of more than $20 billion of their portfolio into Bitcoin in November. So this is a brand new one. And then for those of you that have been in the space, you'll know Paul Tudor Jones hedge fund has bought Bitcoin. MicroStrategy has been buying Bitcoin like a beast. They already bought $475 million worth of Bitcoin over the last few months. And this just came out recently. They have raised $650 million, and they're going to take that and they're going to buy more Bitcoin. And of course, this list just keeps going on and on and on. MassMutual, insurance giant, put $100 million into Bitcoin. If we go to bitcointreasuries.com, we can see that this isn't subjective. It's not an opinion that institutions are buying Bitcoin and buying the dips. It's objective. It's all out there. There are actual statistics. If we head over to bitcointreasuries.com, we can see all of these companies that are buying Bitcoin. And this isn't even the full list of all the institutions. This list keeps getting updated, new companies added. We can see that Ruffer Investment was just added. I believe it was probably today. And over here we see Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. They hold the most Bitcoin on this whole list. Now, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust buys and holds Bitcoin on behalf of other institutions. And here's a list of 20 of those institutions that belong to Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. And we can see the list is big, very prominent firms involved. And this is why I think that we're not going to hit the $12,000 level. Listen, Bitcoin, not just Bitcoin, but nothing just goes straight up. Along the way, there will be dips. And a lot of my friends, especially this week, over the past few weeks, have been calling me and texting me, oh, Bitcoin's going to go up. What if it goes down? And I say, well, if it goes down, I'll be happy. And they don't quite get it. Listen, I am not a crazy person. I don't want Bitcoin to go from $20,000 to $10,000 or to $8,000. But I actually am happy when Bitcoin goes from, let's say, $20,000 to $18,000, because I don't want what happened in 2017 to happen again. I want support. I want to move slowly because I'm in it for the long run. If someone is a trader, this is not what they want. They want Bitcoin to be very volatile, skyrocket high, and then have big drops back and forth. But for the long-term investors, this is good. And Bitcoin probably will see dips along the way. I don't know when it will be. I don't have a crystal ball. Will Bitcoin continue to climb to $22,000, $23,000 and then take a dip? Or now that we reached all-time highs, maybe you're watching this a few days after I publish this video and the price of Bitcoin is trading at $17,000. No one has a crystal ball. So we have to work on probabilities. That's what it is. There is really nothing in this world that is certain. It's all probabilities. And as you can see, we have 200-day support level sitting at about $12,000. But on top of that, we have institutions buying all the dip. So I hope you learned something in this video. Put your comments down below what you think is going to happen with the price of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.